San Diego has wonderful beaches and plenty of sunshine, but is the quality of life here sustainable?
San Diegans pride themselves on having a better quality of life than people living in Los Angeles. But it turns out that San Diegans drive more miles per day than Los Angeles residents do.
In fact, the number of highway vehicle miles traveled in San Diego is higher than just about anywhere else in the state. One reason people are driving further is because they can't afford to buy a house near where they work.
The cost of housing is becoming such a crisis. The policymakers are behind the 8 ball. They do not realize that this thing is coming and rolling.
Laurie Filer, former mayor of Escondido and a policy expert, is now the chair of the independent Equinox Center. She says the region will need to build more than 200,000 new homes to accommodate the growth that's coming.
And the growth is going to come from our children and grandchildren. It's not really from, from other areas. It's our children, and we would like our children to stay here. And the more families that end up having to double up because their college graduates can't find a home that's affordable, the more they'll realize policies need to change so that we can have affordability.
It's not just policies that need to change, Filer says. People's attitudes need to change too.
I do think that as time passes and people realize that their children and grandchildren can't afford to buy a house, that when you show up at a city council meeting and say, I don't want that housing development, that you're directly impacting your children and grandchildren.
Livia Borak is part of the new generation of San Diegans who's choosing to live in an apartment rather than a house with a garden to be near where she works.
It's about a mile, a little less than a mile from the office, so I can walk, I can ride my bike, which I do mostly in the summer, and I don't have to worry about sitting in traffic and commuting.
Borak works for the Coast Law Group in Encinitas, which is heavily involved in lawsuits over how to develop the region more sustainably. She says SANDAG, the regional planning agency that controls transit, should take the lead over the cities that control housing.
SANDAG has to take a leadership role saying, we're going to put transit where it makes sense, and the land use has to follow suit.
Borak says the current feuding over which city gets more money from SANDAG isn't going to result in good regional planning for a sustainable future. Housing and traffic are just two of the factors that affect our quality of life. The Equinox report shows other worrisome trends. Ann Tartra says water use is on the rise again this year after 2 years of serious conservation.
There's a few factors that resulted in water consumption going up in the region. One is the weather. We had a drier year in 2012, and so because so much of our water use is focused on landscaping in the area, people tend to use more water when there's drier weather.
Tartra says she's working to get San Diego companies to sign on to the goal of creating a more sustainable future. Ann Hunter of Hunter Industries in San Marcos is one.
When we identified the fact that we wanted to reduce our environmental footprint, that we made a commitment. And so we just started looking at what we could do and taking baby steps.
The company is monitoring energy use. It has a target to cut waste to zero, and it's turning some of the grassy area outside the building back to natural habitat to save water.
Once we have a report, hopefully we can influence other people to do the same things, same thing with their own companies, influence our own customers to look at their operations.
Ann Tartra of Equinox says some trends are improving. For example, air quality is better in San Diego than in many other California urban areas.
It's looking this year like there's cause for hope, but it's not cause for celebration yet. We think the region has a long way to go in terms of becoming a model for sustainable development, and we think that the region has that potential.
There are just over 3 million of us living in San Diego County now. Within the next 20 years, we'll be 4 million. It's up to planners and politicians and corporations and people like you and me to understand the changes we need to make to preserve this quality of life. Alison St John, KPBS News.